When you fall in love, the great mystery here is it has nothing to do with the other person other than the initial contact. It is your soul that wakes up a few minutes, and that's what the love is. It's your own soul, and you thinking it's the other person. I can't live without you and shit. It ain't got nothing to do with the other person. It's you. And that's what you are feeling. Why do you think you feel it so much? It's your own soul. And that is what you see the Christ, and you see when you see the Christ holding the heart. You ever see the picture of Jesus holding the damn heart? Guess what? The heart that he's holding is the representation of the soul, and that's what the Christ is. They say Christ is love. It's a metaphysical thing. You see what I'm saying? So when you thinking you in love with the other person, you all the range, I can't live without you, I'm gonna blow my brains out and all kind of shit like that. You know, it's your own soul. Now this is the great mystery. When you don't learn that it's the own soul, then what happens here is you don't go to the other level. Then what happens is the karma burns up, which means the soul becomes used to the stage that it's on, and it either goes to another level or it goes back dormant. When it goes to so you can either ride it for what it's worth and learn how to cultivate it, that when you find out it's your own soul. There's a book called Love is a Fire, because it's a fire. It's the Kundalini energy. It's called Love is a Fire by Llewellyn Vaughan Lee. A must-have book. Love is a Fire. Then there's Llewellyn Vaughan Lee. Then there's a badass book called The Science of Love by Dr. John Baines. You gotta have that one. Because that one tells you other shit on the earth, or what you're dealing with physically with deranged people and all kind of shit that's going on in relationships. It's called The Science of Love by Dr. John Baines. You gotta have that, and that's a blueprint. You got to have that and stuff. Then you'll see the motherfucker you've been dealing with all the years and shit, and why things are the way they are, and why you had to put up with the mental retarded type shit that's been going on in your house.
Dr. Baines, you said?
Dr. John Baines. You see Dr. John Baines. The Science of Love.
What was the other one? Love is a Fire?
Love is a Fire by Llewellyn Vaughan Lee. So now in that book, they say when you dealing with it and you finding out that it's not the person was only the catalyst. It's your soul. So you say, I ain't been in love with this person. No, the person was just a catalyst. You just hadn't cultivated your shit. So if you ain't fall, you can still tap back into it because it's in your soul. You just got to wake it back up. So this is the key. When it starts to happen and you find out it's you, when I was saying surrender, I was only surrendering to my own soul. So it's called Love and Annihilation. So there's a chapter in the book, Love is a Fire. When it starts to happen, you let it annihilate you. You say, I'm gonna ride this shit. So what you do is you just surrender to it and let it annihilate your ass. And then you go to the next level. So what happened was that I let the shit annihilate me, and the heart chakra opened and went to the next level. Because I kept the shit open, and I enjoyed what I was into. You know what I'm saying? So you have to go in, you have to do the romance, you got to play a whole lot of damn, you know, you play the love songs. I'm not sure the sisters already know about this shit. You play the love songs, you place yourself in the shits. This is some training for brothers, because that's with the heart chakra thing. The sisters don't have a problem with that. You see what I'm saying and all. You see, just that you've been hurt and you didn't understand. You've been hurt because you didn't realize it was your own soul that was shit was in, you was in love with. Not that old naughty head nigga. That person can only be a catalyst for so long. Then that fire burns up. It's your own soul. That's the mysteries of love. But anyway, it likes the romantic thing. So I was playing the romantic music. And I was playing and I was dealing with the romantic movies and shit. And anything romantic, I was down with that shit. You see, I was down with that stuff. And so as a result, I cultivated the heart chakra. So what happens is here. There's this heartbeat. It's an irregular heartbeat. So what happens is this. Now let me go to the metaphysical aspect. When the heart chakra opens, now, you don't have to necessarily be in love. Let's put it this way. You don't have to go out here and find some motherfucker to clobber you over the head to go through this. You ain't talking like that. Now, okay, now. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to go find some more, you know, to do this kind of thing. You just got to understand, because you can also do it through the romance aspect, but I'm going to give you the Holy Guardian Angel also in a few minutes. That way you can hook up with a divine being and don't necessarily have to be with a rockhead who ain't down with some stuff, you know. But it's also cool to also get a nigga on the frequency, too, if you're willing to learn this thing. So now this is the key. Y'all all right? Am I boring you? All right, well, this is important. Once the heart chakra opens, it has an irregular heartbeat. So what happens, you can run down the street and won't get no heartbeat, just get some breathing or something. But then you can go in there and lay down and go to bed and your goddamn heartbeat about to beat out his chest. Anybody got this thing going on? When you go and lie down and go to sleep, and you somewhat wake up and your heart is racing like crazy. If you ever had this thing, that what is happening is this. You have a heartbeat, your soul, see, you have a spirit and you have a soul. Now know the difference. Oprah came on celebrating the spirit. That's what the white man tell her to do. Celebrating the spirit. He said nothing about celebrating soul. Because not every motherfucker down here got soul. That's what the Egyptians tell you. Not everybody got a soul. So this is a different way. You say, white people say, my spirit. Yeah, the white people have a spirit. But a dog has a spirit. A rat has a spirit. A skunk has a spirit. Everything down here has a spirit. That's an animal. That's what runs the physical earth. That's what makes everything move on the plane of the physical. A roach has a spirit. See what I'm saying? But not everything has a soul. A soul is an original son that was here in the beginning. Those are the sons of God, are the 144,000, which is actually sons. Dr. Delbert Blair talks about the 144 sons. Those are the original sons are stars. You get star. A star is a what? A sun. A sun, solar, soul, S-U-N of God, S-O-N of God. It's the same thing. They're still talking about the missions of the soul. But not everybody has a soul. They have spirit. Everything down here has a spirit. So we open some, we celebrating the spirit, the human spirit. That ain't shit. The human spirit is the same as the goddamn rat spirit. You cut me and I bleed, and you cut me and you white people say, you cut me and I bleed, and I cut you and you bleed. You cut a rat and that motherfucker bleeds. You know, the preacher, how I know he's God because he woke me up this morning. The goddamn dog woke up this morning. That don't mean shit. The problem is, why the fuck did you wake me up this goddamn morning? To be or not to be? That's the motherfucking question. They woke me up this morning. They woke the goddamn rat up this morning too. And you woke us up this morning too, and the rope too woke up. That don't mean shit. To be a what? A slave? To pay this motherfucker so he can get rich, the preacher? You know what I'm saying? So that don't mean that. Everything has a spirit down here, but not everything has a soul. Now when the soul wakes up, so you have a spirit that runs, and the heartbeat that you have is a spirit that's beating inside. And that's the spirit of the earth creating life. And that's the beat of life. That's life. But the soul is dead or asleep down in the lower intestinal tract. And when it starts to rise up, it too has a heartbeat. So when that heartbeat starts to happen and you go to sleep and you have another heartbeat that's beating faster, that means you got two heartbeats. Now stick with me. So what happens here is as the heart chakra opens up. Now one other way to get the heart chakra to open up is also several ways. Number one, if you can somehow devalue life itself, which means you have a detestation for all that exists. Now this is a spiritual aspect. What it means is, the things that you worry about, if they're only an illusion, they are things, a series of events that never existed. So who gives a shit? You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, who gave a shit if I didn't make up my bed? Like the sister, just like, excuse the house. I'm like, I ain't made up my fucking bed in a goddamn year. And I did that on purpose. You see what I'm saying? Why? Who are you? No, I'm trying to say, I'm working out of those things that you think is so important. Mm-hmm. You have to reverse things. Mm-hmm. You remember, full house, empty mind. Empty house, full mind. You see what I'm saying? We was more creative when we didn't have shit as black people because, goddamn it, we didn't have a whole lot of bullshit to distract us. So we had to create our damn self.
That's right.
Make our own self laugh.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? So who's on the higher level? The nigga around the liquor store or you with all your gadgets? Nigga around the liquor store is on the highest level. Oh, but he gonna drink himself to death. Well, death is the crown of life. He ain't got a shit, piss, eat, or pay the cracker some taxes. Just the way you look at things. Now, dealing with this particular science, the heartbeat, so you devalue things in the actuality. You say, well, how can you devalue things? In your mind, you be like, who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? So they cut my goddamn phone off. You know what I'm saying? I use the drums. No, it's not like, your mama used to say, Mama ain't got the Kool-Aid on or the soda on. She go, drink water. You ever heard that shit? Drink water? Yep. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. When it's interesting how they get when shit run out. Shit run out in the house and all of a sudden they get practical on your ass. You know what I'm saying? The TV broke up. Listen to the radio. You know what I'm saying? Radio broke. Well, sing, nigga. Do some shit like that. That kind of thing. So what you're doing is you're psychologically, they're saying being in the world but not of the world. So you don't necessarily have to go and get you a robe and some sandals and some shit and walk out there with a cane and walk around and eat out the trash can and say yourself spiritual. It's not about that. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, don't cut off my goddamn electricity. Shit, I ain't going to custom some damn electricity. I'll pay you your $65 or $200 or whatever for that elective. Them electives, like my grandma used to say. Don't be cutting off my electives. But I will pay you for the electives, but it ain't about, it's a psychological thing. You don't have to go out here and somehow psychologically deny yourself or whatever, because it's hard on the physical realm. But what we're talking about here is, it is a form of, it's in your mind, you psychologically do these things, but they say be in the world, but not of the world. You see what I'm saying? And so therefore, you open, what you're doing is you stop this world to give your soul time enough to wake up. Your soul is not waking up because your soul, you so immersed in this shit. You see what I'm saying? You so immersed in this shit here. You know what I'm saying? And another thing also too, which is the number one destroyer, the number one thing that retards you from going to a higher level, and that is family members. Family members. Your family members are not on board and not and are standing in the way based on some fucked up shit. You're supposed to cut them niggas loose. You gotta cut them loose. Now what happens here is there's a spiritual warfare. And with certain aspects of the spirit world, there's enough, because there's a war going on. There's a bunch of entities that don't want us to rise for the simple fact they don't want to get up off their ass and turn over the reins to us. So what they will do is they will send spirits down here, incarnated into your family members, to get on your ass and to hold you down because they know based on family members. You understand what I'm saying? They know based on family members, you get all emotion and you will stop what you're doing. That's why you gotta, and it could be your mama, it could be your children. It'll come with anything that's close to you, but that's when the motherfuckers you gotta cut loose. Is the bullshit family members and stuff. That's a spirit thing that's stopping you from going to another level. You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand those types of things and stuff when it's coming into spiritual warfare. Now going right along, what we're talking about here is this. And when we get into this soul thing, I got to get into the Iraqi thing to show you how this shit is all carrying out. Because that war was a spiritual war that went down. We got to get into this stuff here because the shit is on. It's on. Now, own heartbeat. And what it happens here is that heartbeat starts to pulsate. Now when that heartbeat starts to pulsate, don't get it wrong, because the first thing you're going to get is high blood pressure. But I know people, the spiritual, got impeccable diets but got high blood pressure. Skinny high blood pressure. So what the first thing happens is, you're going to get high blood pressure. That's a spiritual attribute. Now I know me, I'm a holy man. Now I can tell you I don't get sick. And now, and the hot grease dropped on his hand 2 weeks ago, and you don't see no fucking scars. That's a testimony right here. Hot grease. Al Green couldn't get away from the hot grease. and hot grease is even more than hot grease. But that hot grease stick to your ass. But the damn hot grease stick to your ass too. That hot grease was on my shit. And I smelled some damn shit smelled like bacon. That bitch was cooking. But look at my hand. Nothing. That means it's a spirit thing that's going on. Now, let me bring this thing to you on how this thing goes down. If you're going to get all this in the first chapter, part of this book, you're going to get it. Kundalini, the spirit, the energy of depths and stuff. Now, check this out. When your heart, the first thing you do is you get high blood pressure. Now, the high blood pressure is an attribute because, like I say, is you stroke out and you do things like that because you don't get enough water. The number one killer is dehydration and sleep deprivation and non-exercise. So let me see. I can deal with the water. I can get the water thing right. And I can get the sleep thing right. Now, fuck that damn exercise shit. 1 out of 2 ain't bad. I ain't running down no damn street, no treadmill shit now. You know what I'm saying? I'll find another way. Stuff to get you fat over. But one of the number one killers is dehydration and sleep deprivation. So now, we have strokes because we have dehydration and sleep deprivation. But high blood pressure is an attribute. Most spiritual people, you'll find out you have high blood pressure. Now, my point here is that the white man is so interested in killing you and locking you up. Why the hell are you interested in your high blood pressure and got commercials on high blood and hypertension in black people? That's because spiritually you're supposed to have high blood and hypertension. Now, first of all, this is the first thing happening now. Because I'll get back to that in a few minutes, but let me show you something. I'm from a place called Mullen, South Carolina, population 6,000. And them goddamn niggas down there ain't got no high blood pressure. And, ain't got no high blood pressure. And so they've done something that the white man can't do. And all they did was they got a town called Marion, which is 10 miles away, and all this shit is out of the swamp. And they got this dried moss. You know what dried moss is? All the niggas do is put that shit in their damn shoes, and ain't a fucking nigga in the town got high blood pressure. You get that dried moss and put it in your shoes. Moss. The moss. Yeah, that dried moss that hang off the trees in the south. Funny thing about it, if you go down to some place in the south and get that shit and bring it up and put it on some trees up here, guess what? You put it on the trees up and the shit grow, and the damn tree start growing moss. That's a fungus. That's an algae or fungus or whatever that shit is, and that shit will grow. They put that shit in their shoes, and none of them niggas got high blood pressure. None of them niggas got high blood pressure. I'm gonna start selling that shit, man. But, so that's one thing. I want to just put that out there and stuff like that. But that lets you know the spirit aspect of how all this stuff here is. How do we get half that shit we do? And we stop listening to the grandmama and stop listening to that shit and start listening to that cracker, and now we dying. How the fuck did we live most 70 years into the 20th century and almost 100 years after slavery with all these damn shits and remedies and stuff like that, and nobody died from shit, and now we falling out at fucking 40. You see what I'm saying? But now we educated. Yeah. And we go to that cracker. He fucks us up. You see what I'm saying? And we stop dealing with what the grandmama and all of them was saying, all kind of shit. Now, one time I had an ass session, had to go to a damn clinic, and I went to the free clinic, but I still ended up having paying fucking $25 for some damn what you call that shit, antibiotics. And when I got home, I had the bottle in my fucking hand. One girl said, goddamn, I wish you'd have called me. All you had to do was take some lemon extract and put on the shit. She said, you had to take a damn week. No drink, no milk, no dairy products, no fish, and nothing. They make that shit work. And who's to say if you got off the milk and the dairy products that your shit wouldn't go right anyway? I put the lemon extract on me and woke up the next morning and shit had a whole bottle of pills I didn't even take and my shit was gone. Off of shit her grandmama told her. But we all educated. You see what I'm saying? So that's what that whole thing is about here now. And now your spirit tells you what to do. Now your spirit tells you every day what you need in your head. Now how you say, well, how do I know my spirit tells? All you got to do is to sit down and start using your imagination. You thinking it's your imagination. That's a channel coming through. You see what I'm saying? But see, you can't bring yourself to have confidence in your own spirit. You see what I'm saying? In your own spirit. It's like, one day I'll tell a goddamn lie on the telephone and the next day the fucking lie comes true. That shit, man, I do that shit a lot. I was scaring my damn self. What the fuck going on? I know this is a lie. I lied yesterday. And the next day the damn lie comes true. The creative imagination. So you can heal yourself with the shit right in your kitchen. You just go in and open up the pantry and you look and you tell the spirit what looks good in that and have confidence. Plus you don't realize this here too. Even if the shit up in there wouldn't work, if you just took the shit anyway and believed it worked, the body process gonna help the shit work any damn way. And you don't even need the medicine to do the damn shit. You see what I'm saying? You don't even need the damn medicine to do the shit. One, like I said, it's the same thing with the damn pregnancy shit. One sister said, I know what I do. She said, I did it last month. She said, I did it 2 months ago. I sat in the closet in the dark and told the damn baby to get the hell on back, and the baby didn't come. You see what I'm saying? And I would take an expert of it. I said, I'll bring no goddamn period on tomorrow. I could have made all kind of money in 2000 when all the pregnant women was coming through just got pregnant. I put my hand on their shit and shoot fire up in the womb and burn up the goddamn seed. And I say, and then I tell Lily, that's the god of sending shit back. I say, motherfucker, that goddamn period don't be on at 6 o'clock. Gonna be hell of it. Sister calls in my period on. Wait. And all the time, you do the shit, because see, I remember, because what happened was I was talking to a psychic sister one time. And I said, well, there's a sister called me and she wanted to know if she's pregnant. And the sister said, well, you know, that's because we lost the knowledge. She said something in the channel. She said, because the channel that was coming down said, well, that was, she said that there used to be natural birth control, mental birth control. And she was going to try to tell me what to do. And about 2 weeks later, I said, wait a minute, hold on. That motherfucker, that channel came down and said, the spirit said, the motherfucker used to get rid of this shit in their mind. I said, oh, okay then. And so many words, they said that they had a process of learning how to send the damn shit back and getting rid of it through the mental process. And that's just from shit that over the time of years we lost. So I started doing that damn shit, man. I started doing that stuff, man. And sister was coming in all, and I was sending that shit back. So one sister, she said, yeah, all I got to do, she said, I got to get in the closet and stay in about an hour. She said, I'll send that shit on back. So that means that the body can do anything you want the body to do. You see what I'm saying? So now that the magical field is back now, most of the things you're going to do, that's why these rituals and stuff that they selling in these stores, they ain't going to work, because now you create your own shit. And because you speak it into existence, the shit has to work. So you can create your own shit. You see what I'm saying? Like that. Now, one brother was like, oh, fuck your ass up. He go home and write them niggas' name on a piece of paper, go in the bathroom, piss on it, shit on it, and flush it down the damn toilet. Motherfucker come back and say, man, I'm fucked up, man. I'm fucked up. Yeah, you can do that shit. You see? But you got to believe in it. You see? You got to believe in the science, because all it is the science of the mind. Now, dealing with this soul, Once this thing matures, the first thing it does, it will come in, and it's in the Sanskrit text. The first thing happens is it'll come in, and I talked about this on some of the videos, but I repeat it. So the heart chakra came in, and I became spiritually pregnant, which means when your soul starts to rise up, I don't know about women, but in men, they will take on the characteristics of what a woman had to go through in a physical birth. So what happens is when your soul starts to rise up, the first thing happens is you go through a spiritual pregnancy. In my case, my shit became pregnant. Been pregnant every goddamn since. I'm like, well, shit, you matured, you could have goddamn got rid of the fat. But this is when I knew shit was pregnant. So the heart chakra opened up, and then one night in January 2001, right on the millennium, I laid down, and this goddamn baby is kicking in my fucking stomach. You know, you hear women talking about the baby is kicking. This shit is kicking in my stomach. So I get happy because I know what's going on. I say, okay, I'm spiritually pregnant. All right. I know what's going on. Then one brother from got some of the text, the Buddha text, and they talk about it in there on how so what happens is when the soul becomes first when it's born, it does the same process of what a person is when it's a baby being born. That's called the baby of the egg, the Buddha Rupa, or the Harpocrates, or the baby Jesus. So the baby Jesus is your soul. The baby Jesus is your soul. So the baby of the egg. So what happens is this. This thing starts to birth in you. You become pregnant. This shit was kicking. I go to the bathroom. I'm shitting out baby dookie. What the fuck going on here? I'm shitting out baby dookie now. Some little girl shit. What the fuck is going on here? But see, the spiritual process is the Spirit is trying to send you things that you know. These abnormal things start to send you things that you know that your body is going through a metamorphosis, and you can pay attention. So, then, now the pregnancy only lasted, it's an acceleration thing, so it happens in a couple of weeks. So, one of the scientists will say, yeah, that shit gonna mature into a full-grown adult in about a week or so. So it matured into a full-grown adult by February. And you can tell if you get my tapes. You get my tapes from 2000 on back. I curse a lot, but I'm serious. And then get the shit from 2001. I'm making jokes and shit because this damn entity done come in and he's a comical fucker. You see what I'm saying? And I used to be a comedian in college and whatever stuff, but this shit done came back and I can't stop telling these jokes. So 2001 shit, I'm making motherfuckers laugh like crazy. That's because it's a new entity and he likes to joke. You see what I'm saying? So he's a lot more uncouth other than the cursing. This motherfucker is deranged. A lot more uncouth. Just, you know, just vulgar. You know what I'm saying? You wash his mouth out with soap. Now, then in the spring of the year, one of the sisters called. She said, hey man, particular hybrid sugarcane shit. She said, guess what happened? She said, the shit shuts down the whole nervous system. Wow. So you walk around, the shit completely shuts down the whole nervous system. I said, oh, but melanin works throughout the central nervous system. When I talk about the rise of Israel going through the Dead Sea, well, the Dead Sea, the Red Sea is your blood system. See what I'm saying? So they said, no, this shit shuts down the whole nervous system. I said, bingo. I told them, I said, it's got to be something that's retarding the melanin. And got the motherfuckers on lockdown. You see? They got them on lockdown. Plus, the sink water with all that shit has the stuff in it that shuts down this shit too. So the key here is, now remember I told you I drank 3 gallons of water for 3 days, from Sunday to Wednesday. That's 4 days. And on Wednesday I started time travel. Because I opened up some of that stuff down in the bottom of the gastrointestinal tract, that deep melanin that's in the growing area. There's a whole lot of melanin concentrated stuff. And I open up some of those particular centers also. Now, so what this means here is they're shutting down the central nervous system and they got the people on lockdown because they're trying to stop this invasion. The alien invasion is not coming from out in the sky. The alien invasion is coming from inside of you. Which leads us to Iraq. Now, Iraq is ancient Persia and ancient Babylon. Iraq and Iran. And even Syria. They talk about going up into Syria. They talk about Iran and Syria now. So we follow the axis of evil. Axis of evil. I'm saying you want to start with the goddamn White House. So they talk about this now. They went up into Iraq because they're supposed to have been stopping the weapons of mass destruction. Right? And getting rid of Saddam Hussein. Or bringing him to justice. Only one problem. They didn't find no damn weapons of mass destruction. And they don't have Saddam Hussein. Well, that ought to let you know that if they didn't have Saddam Hussein, they didn't get fucking Bin Laden. What makes you think they're going to get Saddam Hussein? When both people were working for the United States government. Saddam Hussein probably been gone damn near a month before they told you. He was probably gone before they even started the shit because you got to understand. He's working for the damn government, and there's no such war. Like they told you on Wag the Dog. Any war they're going to give you is one that they're going to put on and televise. And their adversaries are the doggone... The enemy in that particular thing is working for them and hired by them. You see, that motherfucker owns some damn island. And paid Bin Laden, sent Total Power paid the Taliban a couple of $1 million, something like $40-something million in January. 30 million in January, then they took another 20-something or 30 million in the spring of the year. Paid them people. To put on this war the right way.